and strip Tom, that they need to be fighting for the undisputed title. It's the White House, it's special, Tom is out, let's get Pereira versus Surreal and let's do it for the belt. Well, I think we're close on that. I just think it's the interim belt. And there was some discussion going around that Tom had been asked to vacate the title. The way the story goes is that the UFC asked Tom, vacate the title. You do it, it's a PR thing, right? I mean, it's our belt, we take it back whenever we want, but that's not what we want to do.
So here's what's happening right now. Alex Pereira's light heavyweight championship is living on borrowed time and everyone knows it. The really explosive situation brewing is this massive jump to heavyweight that has everyone talking. Dana White is practically drooling over the possibility of Poatan headlining some epic White House supercard, going after undisputed glory in what would be an absolutely historic moment. But Tom Aspinall just walked in and completely shattered that whole master plan. This interim heavyweight champion is flat out refusing to give up his belt, and this goes way deeper than just holding on to some gold. We're talking about control here, about legacy, about who really runs the show in the UFC. What Aspinall is doing isn't just being stubborn. This is chess at the highest level, forcing the UFC to either make him the real undisputed champion or accidentally reveal just how hungry they are for Pereira's heavyweight adventure. Nothing about this power struggle is straightforward. When everything shakes out, the damage is going to be devastating.
That Tom said, no problem, release me. I'll vacate if you release me. I like your idea, I hear everything you're saying. We can have a discussion about re-signing and coming back in and getting my belt, but it'll keep my options open. If you want me to do this, here's what I want. Now, first off, that doesn't seem like something Tom would say, but this is the way the story goes. And if Tom did say that, respect, because he's standing up for himself. And Tom has the right to stand up for himself because people do have a very short-term memory on how Tom got to where Tom got. I think they forget that he tore his knee.
Think Tom Aspinall is just going to step aside and let Alex Pereira chase some fantasy White House mega card moment? That's not happening, not even close. This interim belt isn't some consolation prize. It's become Aspinall's nuclear weapon against Dana White's scheming and the UFC's bigger picture. Don't forget, Aspinall lived through the nightmare of being sidelined by injury. He's done playing games when everything is on the line. Meanwhile, Pereira giving up his light heavyweight crown means gambling a legendary run on what's basically a massive heavyweight roll of the dice. Nobody's walking away from this easily, and whoever flinches first in this standoff is going to lose it all.
Got his confidence back, got his momentum back, started to build some steam. I mean, all the stuff he did. He's on a trajectory, he agrees to John Jones, he doesn't hold anybody up for money, he doesn't hold anybody up for time. I mean, he's doing anything that he can do. And frankly, he did everything right. He was a massive team player. He was a massive star. I think you might forget how he captured the interim title in the first place. I think that you might forget about the fight against Sergey Pavlich, where Tom was in England. They put this thing together so fast that Tom's wife couldn't even come and join him. And this is a moment, Madison Square Garden, this is a moment for the
Pereira chasing that heavyweight super fight, especially targeting that White House card opportunity, seems like it's all about cementing his legacy while making Dana White incredibly rich. But focusing only on that means you're completely ignoring the absolute freight train that is Tom Aspinall. This man's fight intelligence is razor sharp, making him the perfect wrench in what everyone hopes will be a storybook Poatan ending. The heat on Pereira isn't just about surviving those brutal light heavyweight cuts anymore. Now it's full-scale mental warfare from an interim champion like Aspinall, who isn't asking politely for his undisputed opportunity. Pereira has to give up that belt to move up weight classes, but Aspinall's relentless demands won't let that happen without a war. Where does this leave the legacy of Alex Pereira when the smoke clears?
It's an interesting thing. Now, I know that Tom wants to box, and that's where you can overplay your hand. There is no boxing out there for Tom. There's no boxing out there for any of them. And boxing also is not what they think. It is not just this huge payday, and it's none of these things that they think that it is. And you do have those outlier stories. You do have a McGregor versus Mayweather, but McGregor versus Mayweather didn't happen because McGregor stood up to the UFC. McGregor versus Mayweather happened and was a success because the greatest carnival barker of all time.
Here's what you need to understand. You think Alex Poatan Pereira wants to just walk away from that light heavyweight title he bled for? Think again. This isn't some casual decision he's making. We're talking about the cold, hard math of a champion facing his body's breaking point while getting caught up in Dana White's ultimate vision for the sport. This rumored heavyweight leap, especially connected to a White House mega card, represents the kind of career-defining moment that doesn't just change trajectories, it rewrites history books. Tom Aspinall sure isn't going to watch that happen without bringing absolute war. All this boxing talk from Aspinall, those callouts, that's just smoke and mirrors. He knows exactly what game is being played. His interim heavyweight strap has become a sword hanging over everyone's head in this multi-layered chess match. Pereira moving up isn't just about changing divisions. Maybe he's trying to escape the psychological torture that Aspinall specializes in. The kind of tactical nightmare who doesn't just want your belt, he wants to break your spirit. So here's the real question. Is Pereira risking his light heavyweight kingdom to chase what looks like glory, or is he being forced into his worst nightmare?
I've seen stuff and they were willing to take a gamble on it. I mean, I'm only sharing for you. They're now partners with the UFC. That opportunity's not there. And I don't want to rain on Tom at all. I'm just sharing, if you can box and you can do MMA, it's the same commissions, it's the same process, just by example. And the opportunity would be in MMA. There is no world title opportunity in boxing. There's also no big paycheck in boxing. This is fiction. But
Pereira's team knows the devastating truth about those light heavyweight cuts. They're destroying him piece by piece. Walking away from that light heavyweight throne for a heavyweight gamble, especially for White House mega card money, isn't just career strategy. This is tactical withdrawal from a war that's grinding him down, a calculated bet to escape the immediate threats stalking his current division. Here's what the UFC leadership can't pretend doesn't exist. You can't just disappear from a division cleanly, not with Tom Aspinall lurking in the shadows. Aspinall isn't just another contender in the rankings. He's a legitimate, undeniable nightmare matchup for absolutely everyone. His threat level is so real, so obvious, that even Dana White with all his promotional genius can't just sweep him under the rug. Aspinall knows exactly how much leverage he holds. The sheer pressure he creates just by being in that heavyweight picture makes Pereira's escape plan incredibly complicated. You really think Pereira wants to deal with Aspinall's explosive violence and relentless tempo after already torturing his body to make 205 pounds? This goes beyond title collecting. We're talking about legacy preservation, the fight intelligence needed to avoid a potentially career-ending disaster, and facing who really holds the cards in this ruthless business.
it's just something that it'd be a little out of line for the way that Tom would normally operate. So keep that thought and do what you would like with it. But now let's take a look at Alex Pereira, because if Pereira is going to go to if he is going to go to heavyweight, then he needs to be a heavyweight. I don't think that Pereira would disagree with me. I don't think that Pereira would have any problem giving the 200.
Pay attention, because all this speculation about Alex Pereira abandoning his light heavyweight belt for heavyweight isn't really a choice at all. It's brutal mathematics, plain and simple. Tom Aspinall isn't sitting quietly waiting his turn either. He's cranking up the psychological heat, publicly demanding his undisputed title shot, basically cornering Pereira into making a move. This stopped being about difficult weight cuts a long time ago, though that's definitely part of it. What we're seeing is a collision between Dana White's master plan, the temptation of a White House mega card, and the money-making machine. Pereira's legendary fight intelligence is telling him to sacrifice everything he's built at light heavyweight for the promise of heavyweight riches. What does that reveal about a champion's true conviction? It shows you exactly how crushing the weight of championship gold really is in the UFC.
So instead of working with the company, he goes into business for himself. He gives the belt back. This wasn't greatly perceived, but it's John, and there's a little room here. And then he sat for 3 years. For 3 years, he stayed out trying to gain the size to be heavyweight. Very humble thing for John to do, because frankly, John could have stepped in and won that heavyweight belt with no time off, but I'm just telling the story the way that it happened. So if Pierre is to do the exact same thing, I'm the light heavyweight champ. I want to pursue the heavyweight championship. Hey, by the way, I don't need any time. Let's go. I can fight light heavyweight on this date, or I can fight heavyweight. Either way, let's go. Gangster move. Very in line with what Alex Pereira does.
When people talk about Alex Pereira potentially dropping that light heavyweight title to chase heavyweight glory, your first reaction might be respect for such a fearless champion making power moves. But Tom Aspinall transforms that decision from bold into absolutely agonizing. The demands on Poatan to defend his current belt aren't just intense, they're suffocating him. He's facing a genuine stylistic nightmare in his own division, and maybe he's looking for an exit from that particular challenge. Dana White's obsession with a White House megacard is no secret, dreaming of pure entertainment and massive profits, but picture a champion running from his division, especially with Aspinall so publicly calling him out. That creates serious political problems and a storytelling disaster for the UFC. Is Pereira's celebrated fight IQ actually running from that dangerous matchup with Aspinall at light heavyweight? You have to ask yourself honestly what the real price is for chasing that second belt, that heavyweight fantasy, when his first one might go undefended. That question strikes at the heart of what championship really means.
But I don't think that we're looking at it quite right. I don't think it's bad if they fight for the interim championship at all. At all. I think that's great. I do think if Pereira and Cyril fight, there's got to be a belt. It needs to be scheduled for a potential 5 rounds. Pereira is the champion of the world. If the champion of the world fights, a championship of the world's got to be on the line. That can be the interim. But as opposed to the idea that, hey, it's got to be Tom's belt. Nothing personal, Tom. We got to move on, and it's got to be for the undisputed championship. No, I don't agree with that. But I would agree that of that scenario, the one that does have to be stripped or to vacate the belt would be Pereira. And I don't think that Pereira would disagree.
Time for some uncomfortable truth. Alex Pereira's light heavyweight reign is running on borrowed time, and those savage weight cuts will eventually destroy him completely. You can see the damage accumulating, written all over his face and body. So abandoning that belt goes way beyond just giving in to Thomas Aspinall's rising claim as the rightful heavyweight challenger. This is strategic retreat, regrouping for a much larger conflict. We're looking at total heavyweight warfare. Dana White isn't just thinking about regular title defenses anymore. He's tasting the possibility of a legacy-defining historic White House megacard. The real mind game happening is whether Pereira can exit the light heavyweight division without appearing to run from competition. Because Aspinall's team is already painting exactly that narrative masterfully. The hidden truth behind that heavyweight move isn't embracing fresh challenges. It's escaping the soul-crushing reality of a division where he barely survives while trying to cement his mythology as an undisputed 2-division champion. This is where championship pressure either destroys fighters completely or transforms them into unbreakable legends through fire.
Pereira would care in the least. Let those guys get on with it. If it doesn't work out at heavyweight and I want to go back here, I'll come in and whoever's champion, I'll see you. I mean, in the words of Israel Adesanya, you deal with that monster.
Listen to that ice-cold determination in Aspinall's voice. Pereira abandoning that light heavyweight belt isn't coming from pure ambition. It's his body screaming for relief, driving him toward the heavyweight division, toward that massive White House megacard payday and undisputed dreams. But here's the problem. Tom Aspinall is becoming that monster Israel Adesanya warned everyone about, an immovable obstacle planted directly in Poatan's path. This isn't just some career adjustment. We're watching a desperate high-stakes gamble for legacy, heavily influenced and maybe forced by the UFC itself. Pereira will battle giants, absolutely, but only after his body has already fought half the war, just reaching the cage, leaving him exposed and vulnerable to apex predators like Aspinall, who are fresh and starving. What are we really seeing here beyond the shiny belts and dramatic headlines? We're witnessing raw power calculations playing out in real time. Tom Aspinall isn't just fighting for a title, he's forcing the entire heavyweight landscape and the UFC itself to bend to his will. His presence alone creates a psychological pressure cooker, relentlessly pushing a legend like Pereira into making career-defining choices, revealing the delicate balance between legacy, ambition, and physical limitations. This transcends who hits harder. It's about the fight intelligence needed to navigate harsh reality, knowing when to retreat strategically, when to risk everything on one move, and when to face the monster directly. Dana White might control the strings, but fighters like Aspinall are the storm, the unstoppable force reshaping everything around them. That's the lesson from this unfolding drama. In life like in competition, there's always an Aspinall demanding your absolute best, exposing your weaknesses, and forcing decisions. The crucial question becomes this: will you collapse under that pressure, or will you grab it, control its power, and use it to build your own undeniable legend?